Greetings, my friends. This is Maerlande again with episode 3 of Sombre's Warhammer Dark Elves mod. And I think you could call this a showcase. It's not really a review, but I'm just trying to understand the mechanics, and there's some that are quite different. I'm also trying to sort of spot any, oddities or maybe bugs. Last episode, I did note that there was something a bit funky about the creating slaves action, and Sombre posted a comment on episode 2 about it. He thinks what may have happened is that Beastmaster, here, we'll pop out here, we'll take a look. So it occurred here, I think it was in this province, and it was with this Beastmaster. And you'll notice that she had these harpies and something else she spawned. He thinks that event, the spawning of the animals or monsters from her abilities, may have occurred before the event fired for doing the, what is it called here in the mechanics? Let's take a look at the nation description just for a second here. Yeah, it's not well described here. Armies enslave as they conquer. That's the event. So as they conquer, they have that chance to enslave. He thinks that what may have happened is the Beastmaster summon, which is an event, rather than a summon command or a Dominion summon attached to the Beastmaster. He thinks that event may have occurred before it calculated the size of the armies for the enslave event. We don't entirely know, and if it happens again, I'm going to try to do a tag there. Now, the other question we have here is how many commanders are left. Now, I believe as we left it, there were 2 Woodhedge Druids. He's now killed the second one. So I think it's safe. We're going to give this a shot and move forward here. She's got 2 squads. I didn't really want to waste the Sea Dogs. I could be a little extra careful and take another moment, but I think from what I remember of last turn, and I haven't been archiving these turns, so I can't go back and look at them again, because this is just a fairly simple single player operation. Now this one, I should have maybe made notes, but I succeeded at it. I think this is the first assassination he's done here. Let's do another one. Let's take the scout. We're going to add a few extra. No, I don't want to do that. I actually want to retreat, because I just want to verify what's left here, and I'd rather not win that fight, so that I can do that fight using a large enough army to create the slaves. So the Y command helps me set this guy up for a retreat. I want him to come and start scouting down to the south here, watching for other opponents in that direction. So I think that covers my eastern frontier with what's possible. Over here, I think we've got sufficient troops to take another province. And Sombre also mentioned to me in the private that some of these marauder slaves are significantly tougher than others. So I'm not really sure just which ones I might want to be saving for more useful purposes. These guys look okay, but no protection. Some decent extra benefits. A little bit of cold resistance. That's not a whole heck of a lot. What do we got here? This might be the interesting one. Double weapon. Oh, yes, and protection 11. Okay, so these are more like a moderately elite recruitable unit. So they're probably worth trying to keep alive. So let's put them on guard. Do I have to, yeah, so there's some more of them. So they are above average. And oh, we actually want the Witch Elves here with the profit. Now, if we got anything else, some of these others, that's pretty generic. So we'll put these guys in the chaff group. Spears and no protection. Yeah, these guys are sacrificial. They're just chaff. Same with those guys. Okay, so there's a lot of different types, and this is one of these sort of micro situations where it can definitely be worthwhile to separate them out into the useful and the not so useful. So we're sitting here kind of maxed out. We're going to grab these extra. And I think for purposes of what I'm trying to accomplish, I'm going to put the archers back a little bit farther, the crossbows. See if that makes a difference. So of course, as I've discussed in the prior episodes, the purpose of using a bit oversized expansion parties is very specifically for generating these slave events. I could send an extra commander, but I think I will not. Now I've got malicious heavy infantries and archers and a valuable farm province. You can see the farm tag here. Or I could go up here and fight some barbarians. But I really do want the farm province. And I should see what's a bit... Okay, starting to recruit some scouts right on the edge of my territory saves me some time. And I want to look at any of these others. Do they have scouts? They do not have... At some point, I may want to make a few Jaguar tribe priests. But we'll sort of hold on because this is one of the first provinces I want to see what happens. Okay, can't get the Corsair there yet. And we do want to bring some troops along. We don't need an expansion party, but we want just basic. These goblins are generally trash, being undisciplined, so let's send them along as just numbers to help when we go to take assassination expansion provinces. Okay, so those are good going that way. We want to kind of work this Corsair captain so he can start doing his coastal province, create a Corsair grove, and he needs to be at least 2 away from a fort. So we're going to try to get him over here to this coastal province. Now it's just about time to start looking into making more forts, but to do that I'd have to stop spending money, and I've still got a significant amount of expansion left to do. And like we've said, unlike many nations, there's a benefit to using oversized expansion parties. So this guy is just we can always drag this along. This guy's just bringing forward more reinforcements for the armies here. This commander, the master, should start heading back, and I want to keep scouting, so let's scout upwards towards Bandar Log. Alright, and we have another, this scout here, we may as well move him that direction because he was unable to survive this patrolling force. We were making mermen, so let's just check on the mermen, put these guys just behind the PD. We are still making as many mermen as possible, so that's useful. I'm gonna need probably a good squad of 40 of those to take any of these underwater provinces because they're a very flimsy unit. Now, just wanted to have a quick review of any other independents that are available. Yeah, nothing particularly useful. There's another possible nature mage, but that requires fort, a lab and a temple, and same with the Jaguar tribe priest. So those are not an easy thing to do. And this Corsair, we want to start moving towards this or that coastal province. See if we can generate a Corsair grove. On the other hand, I also kind of want to start taking some of these internals, but I don't want to bring any of the witch elves because he cannot bless. Oh, there's another goblin. So for the time being, these are the looks like the highest quality of the slaves. Why did that fail? So you have a maximum number of squads? You can't even take extra squads? That would be odd. Alright, well let's... Oh, he's full. Ah, that's why, 40. Okay. Well, he won't be bringing along extra slaves. Oh, I know what we should be doing. Is we should send these with the Beastmaster because she can bring significantly larger numbers. And now, since we don't have... She can't do much in the way of formations, but this should be good enough. Put these guys on fire, these guys on attack. Okay, well let's stuff that full of more slaves. I mean, they're not doing any good sitting at home. And we'll send along those guys on guard commander. So we'll just stuff anything that isn't a witch elf into that front line. Be nice to have more masters for formation capability, but it's not particularly required. So she'll go here, because I think I want to take this one first, and then this one. Bone Tribe could be potentially a little on the tough side. And this Corsair, I definitely want to get him over here to this coastal province. So is anybody left? So, just for safety's sake, because I forgot to make notes, I'll do one more assassination. It won't cost me much. This guy can just hide and wait. This guy can hide and wait because I just want to kind of watch for if anybody comes this direction. And this guy, which way do I need more scouts? I need more scouts up here. Okay, I like that. That looks pretty good to me. We'll check the recruitment. So we've maxed out on resources. That's useful. I probably don't need more Corsair captains for all. When in a coastal province, it might establish a Corsair Cove. Okay, so it's not automatic. And I've got 298 gold. Is that enough? Not quite enough for one of these. These are the convent sorceresses. It might be time to start creating a pleasure cult. Now, the pleasure cult mechanics are sort of interesting. Dark Elf fortification without sufficiently strong positive dominion, there is a chance that the cult of pleasure will take hold. But, so I have to be where I don't have a heck of a lot of candles. So over in this area, and my research is moving along adequately. I'm not really sure what I really need right now for commanders. I mean, I don't really need more assassins because I'm running out of room. We have here the Death Hag, and she's... okay, so that would be useful to bless a second squad if I have Sacreds. She's a Blood Hunter, she's got some other... Inquisitor, okay, so that helps to remove enemy candles. A bonus to cost. Well, that's sort of a thugging kind of idea. I'm not really ready to start a blood economy. And these are the two variations of pleasure cultists. Don't really know that I have a place for them. The Dreadlord is basically commander for high-speed commander for the high-end cavalry. And these guys cost more gold than they do recruitment points, and right now I'm still gold limited. So I might turn off the recruitment of a couple and grab one of these convent sorceresses. Okay, I'm going to call it good. Now what turn are we on here? We're coming up to, this is turn 12. And I believe, if I remember correctly, the god is imprisoned. Might be only dormant. I'd have to go look at that. Let's just take a moment here. Let's save and quit. And let's look, just remind us on the Disciple. Middle-aged, Lucretia the Salty. She is imprisoned, so we won't see her for many more turns. She's He's basically, for a long time, just a blessed chassis. Okay, good enough. Go back to the test game. And I'm just going to review the messages. I didn't have any very interesting messages. Yeah, I remember that. We just searched because he couldn't move ahead. Okay, I'm going to host this one. I just need to decide, should I be taking a moment to archive this turn? No, there's nothing interesting. If I see an interesting event, I'll do a snapshot of the save game so that I can look it up again for purposes of going further. Should just have a quick look and make sure everything's happy. Okay, looks good on my sound checks. So let's host the turn. Ah, all right. So there was a commander there where I tried to assassinate, so that was good. And that was in this province here. This one, I had finished the assassinations, so I have an empty assassination, but that's not a bad thing. Carrion Meyer, I took that province with 0 losses, which is good because I didn't really want to lose any Sea Dogs right now. And Sirna, I took, again, though losses of which elves is high. Now, Sombre did mention they're not really appropriate for expansion, and I think he's right. They're more counter to something elite, so it might be better to just stop bringing them along. I don't think they contribute a hell of a lot. Let's look at my layout, and if it really deserves... that looks a little bit better. Yeah, I think setting the crossbows a little farther back, they're kind of stuck behind the line, but that's not fundamentally a bad thing. And they're doing a little chip damage. It's helpful. It's not stunningly wonderful. And they're getting shot a little bit. Now they've got reasonable protection, so they can kind of hold off against regular archers. It shouldn't be much of an issue. Sadly, I could see why I lost Witch Elves, because they're going to engage the tougher of the opponents. If they'd have been on the other side, that might have gone better. I mean, they chopped them up really quickly, but they definitely take losses. Looks like I've got pretty badly... Yeah, he's crippled. I mean, that's not particularly an issue. If I had a little extra squad points or availability of command points, I could put out a upfront bait squad. Okay, so we've seen how that works. I could argue that I might have more efficient expansion if I didn't even bother bringing the Dark Shards, the crossbow guys, because they're not really doing enough to matter. Now, this one was a over 6,000 and at least 25 troops present, so it removed 530. I won't say necessarily killed. Then how many came back? Not a heck of a lot, 160, but I did get the gold and the province resources. And that reminds me of a note to ask Sombre. Are the resources gains permanent or temporary? Okay, made that note. And then the second event, so I only gained, and that was a smaller, so which of these is the smaller one? That was only a 2,000, so the gains were smaller. So let's see, just to review that, lost 240, gained 60, so a fourth, a quarter. It seems to vary between 20% to 30% of how much of what you kill you keep as additions to your... Oh, and I got another famous hero. Patrolling troops. Who's patrolling? Oh, okay. The mermen, right. Nifty. So, I now have this province ready to ready to go conquer. So I should bring this mob of trash back there. This guy can go here in anticipation of starting the process. We want the Corsair to come here and see if it generates a Corsair Cove, which I assume will show up as an event in the messages. I don't know for sure, but I'll assume. We'll move this Corsair captain here. This guy is just bringing forward. Okay, so I am now meeting up with Jotun on both sides. So these guys, I'm going to put, really low on gold. Let's see what I got happening here. So, okay, that's pretty sweet. Air 3. Isn't that lovely? So she should go out site searching. So that's an excellent site searcher. Now wait. Yeah, it's definitely a good time to start some site searching. So let's set her up. I think I can safely... Well, I don't have really much in the way of spells, so I'll just have her on retreat if she's just going to site search. So it looks to me like these convent sorceresses are very efficient site searchers because they've got this 2-path tag. And that's always nice to have a +2 rather than 2 separate +1 100%. Because then you get a lot more useful magi using this. It would be neat to see this more often with more nations. I mean, it's kind of fun to have the various randoms that sort of make it a bit of a luck whether you get the one you want or eventually. I know I tend to argue that from a strategic perspective, 10% randoms are pretty minor in the game. You know, you have to hire 1 in 10, and especially if it's a 4-point or what we call slow to recruit commander, like I believe this lady. If you get a 10% random here, you're looking at, to get maybe the 10% random you want, you're looking at 20 turns, statistically on average. You may get some other ones, but you're only going to get one of those 10% randoms every 20 turns. The game just doesn't go on long enough for that to have much impact. So I tend to be not a fan of 10% randoms. They're okay. I'd prefer that more often they were 25% randoms so that then 1 in 4 would have that extra boost. That would be more likely to matter on a regular basis. Because typically games run from 60 to 100 turns. Not very often less than 60, and of course it's dependent on the number of players. But, you know, in 100 turns, if you've got a 10% random, you're going to get 4 of them. 5, sorry. No, you're going to get 10. No. My bad. Yeah, you're going to get 10. You're going to get 10 in the total time of the game of those 10% randoms, and they may or may not be useful. If they're 10% randoms on a 4 commander point mage, you're going to get 2. No, 5. Sorry. I don't know. It's early in the morning. My math is wonky. But I think you get my point. It's just a bit of a generic commentary. Okay. There's nothing really very fancy here. Nothing fancy here, so let's just try this out. It's a big enough army. Now, what have we got at home? Good whack of slaves. Nobody to really bring them along. I should note, my understanding of these Beastmasters is whether or not they generate some animals is completely random. And so there's no real reason to leave them in any specific spot. They're going to generate what random they generate for the beasts based on the terrain where they're in. I don't know the exact numbers of the chances to spawn beasts, and I don't think Sombre wants that to be generally known. That's sort of a piece of the opaque bits of mystery for the nation. It'll be up to him if he wants to. I mean, if he wanted us to know what the chance to get one of these events, he probably would have written it in the description. And I can ask him, or he'll respond. So that's what she's doing. He's going there. So who's left? Okay, this guy, we really want him to head back because he could bring serious amounts of troops. and we're bringing the extra Witch Elves forward. Now, which way do we want to go? Should I try to keep pushing on Jotun? Probably. I do kind of need a little more money, so maybe I should cut back on troop purchases. Now, this is... So I want to look at gold to resource ratios, because at the moment I am more gold constrained than resource constrained. Do I have an option? Not really. So everybody is kind of equal gold to equal resources, and overall for just expansion purposes it's best to just get whatever the heck is the cheapest, like the largest numbers of bodies per gold. Later on we're going to want to change that around. Okay, so there is no such thing in this nation as a low gold high resource unit. So arguably I could have probably gone sloth to save myself some design points. So that's something to learn. And sometimes the only way to get a good feel for that sort of thing. What I wanted to do here was I'd like to really pump this up to 11. There is a rule of thumb from a long time ago that it appears that the AI only sees your province defense in increments of 10 plus 1. So 11, 21, 31. And it makes decisions based on whether or not it can conquer your PD if it decides to declare war on those numbers 11, 21, and 31. It's not documented. It's just something a number of us longtime players have noticed. And the other advantage to, say, 10 PD in this location is that bit of patrol, which can help. You may or may not need it. But I might be wanting to, oh boy, definitely going to want to fort this if I can. Get that admin bonus. So we'll be getting to that. We should also see what's available. Oh, well now I can make scouts even closer to the front line. And I should check here. No scouts. Scouts here. So I might stop. I was making some scouts somewhere else up front. No, I've already started making them there. So I'm going to turn off the scouts here because I don't need 3 provinces making scouts, but I do like 2. And one of these scouts can go up here. Put these guys both on retreat. If you penetrate deeper than 1 province into enemy lands, retreat isn't particularly helpful, but we're going heading that direction. This guy was going on retreat. Have him watch this Bandar Log army. Looks like it might patrol me out, but we'll see. It's a lot of unrest. Interesting. Probably the slave event generates more unrest. So I'm going to turn down the troop production again. And actually, I'm just going to stop making crossbows. So I want to take this one up to 11. There we go. Let's just make sure I've got at least 1 PD everywhere. I didn't buy any there. Oops. F1. And I have not bought any there yet. Missed that. Yeah, I might want 11 here. It's a nice big farm. Another case where there's... Yeah, I do actually want at least 6. And I probably want 6 here. At least there's some restriction to slow the AI. Right. Yeah, let's go try to take these deer tribe. That should go fine. Don't have anything I really want to change here. I'm actually... I think I've concluded that this was all an error. And I should just be way up forward. And the later that the Witch Elves arrive, the better. Who else is left? That guy. Let's send him looking for other nations. Nobody's going to be coming. They could come from this direction, from the south, or from this direction. We'll push them a little farther. We're just trying to find the limits of our opponents. And we've, to the best of my knowledge, we've finished the... So, do I want to try to assassin expand to this forest or this plains? I'm going to go for the forest. But I really do need to bring up another army of junk. Just don't have a way to do it yet. Okay, I like my recruitment. I'm going to keep making witch elves simply because I'm limited by holy points, and I may need them for something in particular in the future. But in hindsight, I would have expanded for most purposes just with the basic infantry and crossbows, and then if you had something tough to kill, you could start bringing in possibly corsairs with the double weapons. They're going to hit a little harder, a little bit better stats, right? A 12 attack versus, oh, those are 12s. Or if you really had to chop up tough stuff, you could bring these executioners with a gold to resources ratio of pretty much 1 to 1. That's not bad. The top end heavy cavalry, I think, while they would work really well, you just don't really need them. And they do cost, you know, that you're at 15 here. So, you know, you're looking at 5 to 1. I think 5 of the infantry are going to do the job better against most things. On the other hand, 20 burn protection, these guys might survive almost anything except knights or elephants. But, you know, that's worth something to do some testing and see which expansion works a little better. This is not a huge expansion, but I've talked about that the argument is because of the way expansion, or because of this slave creation event, it seems to be better to expand a little slower, get more slaves. But all of that may become more clear with more practice. This is by no means optimized for the testing. Alright, we've covered the events. We did want to take a quick look and see what did we get for... Well, isn't that fun? Oh, morale and leadership. Well, that's pretty sweet on one of these Beastmasters. Does that let her do formations? No. Yeah, isn't that too bad? So she gets a bonus to morale from her heroic ability, but it doesn't bring her up to the critical number of she can handle 3 squads, which then opens up formations. Kind of a bummer. It ends up being sort of a wasted heroic feat. Alright, we're ready to host. Because I didn't see anything too funky. How many units is it? So she's at 42 total. So she would be, with her troops along, she would be creating the largest of the slave events, no matter what now. And there's nothing funky or new. Alright, let's host. Alright, so in Rame, that was a little, yeah, that was not bad. So she did fine. Those losses don't bother me at all. Very, very acceptable. I don't think there's really anything to see there. I suppose we could have a look and see if by pushing everything forward, I get more value out of the crossbows and not using hold attack. Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, I can't do anything too funky with bait squads or other sorts of tricks, because I don't want to go to 3 or 4 squads on a commander who would get a morale penalty for that. Okay, well that was easy peasy. Now what about this one? Very comparable. So still losing witch elves. I guess they're just going to die no matter what they attack. I just want to see if this... See, that looks a little better, holding the witch elves back. Well, I've got a lot of crippled and limping frontline guys now. The crossbows are doing more value for me here. Okay, I'm satisfied with what I saw there. Alright, we got another 6,000 population, so I want to see what this ratio of 600, let me review that. We lost 610 here, and we gained 170 from it. Let's just run a quick bit of math. Well, you know, that's... Yeah, I'll just run a quick calculator. 170 divided by 610. So 27, 28%. So it's, yeah, I think between the 20 and 30%, somewhere along those lines. And that seems to be pretty consistent. The province resource looks like it's the same no matter what, based on the size of the province. The gold seems to jump about between 20 and 40. Maybe it's 50. Now, Rame here, that was a 4,000, so that's the third size. 480 population lost and 90 gained. So we'll just do a quick percentage here. So that's 19%. Okay. So maybe it's more like 15 to 30% is what you end up with. I mean, anybody who really wanted to figure out could go read the mod file. But I'm not going to do that because I'm not trying to play that way. Not quite that grognardy. What did we get for randoms this turn? Oh, where'd she go? Oh, there she is. She's got the water. Again, kind of sweet. So this is another site searcher. We'll send her that way. Put her on retreat. Alright, so we have a lot of troops to collect in a lot of different places. I should only need one province defense here. That army should be... more junk. Well, don't really want to leave these guys behind. What's available to recruit here? Let's grab an independent commander, and he'll bring along the undisciplined ones after the fact. And she's just going to keep pushing. So I don't see any animals, so no animals were generated. And no animals were generated here. And we do not have a Corsair Cove yet. Now, if I want to have a Corsair Cove happen, I kind of need to split these two armies in half. Because I want... What's that magic number? Let me look at that again. It's here, 25. Okay, so I kind of want to split these two armies in half. So let's take these guys, move them there, and let's take the Sea Dogs and move them way, way, way back. So hopefully they stay alive, and when I get around to... So this guy can do his work in this coastal province as well as he can here, and then he can be useful when I finish the assassinations here. That guy can assassinate. Got an assassin here. And the Beastmaster will go take this province, which has no leaders left. This guy, we've got a scout here, we've got a scout there, got one here. We want to send him just anywhere south. She is site searching. This guy's going that way as a scout. Do I have a scout here? No. And these guys are finished. So let's put up the 11 PD for the border with the human. So there is, oh, look at that. I'm in Jotunheim's capital circle. Man, the AI is dumb. Dumb as a post. Or smart like dump truck. Always like that one, smart like dump truck. This guy, I'm looking to find AIs. I'm not interested in sitting there scouting. Actually, how do these link up? They don't. So I've actually got almost more scouts than I really need over here. I kind of do want a scout sitting here just in case Bandar tries to take this province. So this scout is kind of where he belongs until another one shows up. This scout. So this guy isn't... There's no significant army here for Bandar. So I think we can push this guy east and this scout north. Now, if we want to be kind of smart, now that they've gone too far to successfully retreat, we can always try and attack, and who knows? There's always that itty-bitty tiny chance that the scout may survive. Because retreating when you don't have a friendly province adjacent is death anyways. Right, what's left? We want to keep looking for opponents down here. We want to keep moving east to look for opponents with scouts. Now, where do I want to sort of see if I can create a Corsair Grove? Here? That's not a bad place for a Corsair Grove, because if I do want to fort up, I want to fort up here. And I can make forts with a scout if I want to. Well, I'm going to be bigger than any of the AIs pretty easily. So that guy's just going to patrol. And we'll put the Merman. So we're at 21. Any changes here? No, it hasn't grown, so I don't have more people to recruit. Dun, 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 dun. I suppose the other option is later on, you know, if I want to search other water locations and follow up. So this mage, I'm actually going to send here because it's duplicating the astral in death, but I might as well get the water search. I'm not going to bother sending out the single fire guys because I should very easily get a double fire for site searching very soon. And this guy could just hang out here because when this, oh no, I'll move him here and then he's freed up. Good, good. This is a forest, map move 12. Control M is a handy key. It shows you the map moves required to get to a specific province based on the army you currently have selected. So they're at 12 combined move. It cannot get there. Alright, and that is all of the units I have. I'm satisfied with the recruitment. I think I can turn off troops. I just don't need any, and I do want to start saving some gold for forts. But I do want to grab some more of these before I switch to the Supreme Sorceresses and slow down my recruitment. In my opinion, I'm better to wait for those until I've got more forts up. Alrighty, let's host. Alteration is complete, so I'm still shooting for Alteration 4, and then don't really want a Thug. Astral and Death are my primaries. I'm going to jump up a little bit of Enchantment. Just keep it going. Another successful assassination. Another successful assassination. I was talking to Sombre about the throwing knives on some of these assassins. And I said, well, you know, are they really worth it? Because, you know, is this a premium to cost for something that isn't going to work very often? He made the comment that he doesn't use the auto calculation for the commander costs, so these knives are freebies. And if they work sometimes, great, and if they don't, you haven't lost anything. So that's fine. And yeah, he missed again. Yeah, he missed, but the Tanglevites could make this tricky. Yeah, that's a nuisance. There we go. Oh, look at that. Well, the knives work very well then. He did mention in his opinion the purpose of the knives is for that very reason, to take out Magi. And this one, I just want to watch and see how the knives worked. Oh, that's the one I already watched. What's the other one? No, one was the Lion Tribe. No, this is the other one. Let's just have a look. It looks the same, but... Oh, no. Well, okay. Okay, those knives are solid. Oh, we found a magic site. So I will have her head out this way. She found a death site, Black Tower, Circle Master, and Conjurers. Good grief, did I... Oh, I found a lab. That came with the lab. Now, what do I get from these guys? Death and blood, but guaranteed blood. That's potentially quite useful. But I've got other things to worry about still before I worry. Oh, I failed. Look at that. Look at that, I failed. It's damn Bone Tribe. It was close, though. Well, there's nothing wrong with taking that risk. That's an easily replaced army. But I just want to make sure that Whatever is left is still over 25. Interesting. Okay, so that was manageable losses. Does she still have 25? Ah, there's an animal. Well, that was interesting. So we got one of these big tough guys. Put that guy back in the line. Ah, excellent. And is this undisciplined? Yes. Do I have anything particular to use him for other than just in the line? No. So stick them in this blob, put them on a flank, and see what they do. So with both these commanders, I should be able to finish that one off. So I've just about reached that target point of 40 mermen. So once we hit 40, we'll buy another merman commander. Oh, my poor old chair is starting to really squeak. Should give it some olive oil. Oh yeah, right, that's for cooking. Alright, we'll do a search here. Now, who did I end up this turn? Oh, I got another heir. Okay, well, let's start sending her to find heir sites. How's the money situation? I'm starting to build up money. Good. Oh, more animals. Did they get left behind or so? Oh, she failed. Oh, son of a gun, I went before. Oh, I screwed that up. The assassinations weren't complete. This guy needs to go back and finish that off. That was a glitch. Haha. Well, she's gonna need some more help before she can take that province, if I want to do it without... Alright, which way do I need to send troops? I don't need to send troops this way. This commander, he can hand back to collect other things. This guy and his army can go start taking up barbarians. No point bringing along a single version of that. This scout can sit there and watch over you, and this scout can go up here. He'll be on retreat. Alright, this scout, send him north, looking for people, looking for enemies, not just people. That guy's in a good position to do wait. That guy could just wait. Boy, it looks like Bandar suicided almost everything. I want to be going down to this one. I can get there, so that's currently open because it's warm enough. We're still looking for the edges. Flagra doesn't seem to have expanded at all. His capital seems like it's going to be right here. He's got this big army here threatening me. So I actually kind of want to bring my PD up. He hasn't declared war yet, and the AI is fairly meticulous on always declaring war. Oh, these guys can actually move up farther. Scout can move that way. Got another scout coming. She wants to search for water here. And I want him. I should have that scout go there. And this is the assassin. He killed somebody, so there should be one more. We'll have him assassinate. We don't know for sure. So if I push against this without a scout probe, it could be a little risky. Oh, Jotun's got a significant army here. And I'm going to lose if I bump that army with the Moose Riders. You know what? This isn't really worth it. That Corsair is just going to sit there. And I'll put up 11 PD. And he's just going to sit there and patrol. Alright. So where do we need troops? We need troops over here. And we need as many as we can get. It's not a lot of archers, but Let's grab all these crazy undisciplined garbage and bring them along. Just as a blob. He can carry quite a few more guys. Oh, there's a few more. So he can take all the various crappy slaves, throw them in with the front line, and he's got a couple of these good guys that we're trying to build up into large enough units to actually do something useful. So he can't get that far, he can go there. And we are done. So we're coming up close to my hour. We'll check this next turn and see what interesting things might show up. Am I happy with things? I think so. We're saving up some gold. This is quite late to be starting the second fort, but I think we've discussed why. It's a little bit different nation, and of course I only set the AIs to regular because the point of this was not to spend a whole bunch of time trying to fight AIs. The time will come for that. But I'm also hoping to see Flagra attacked some independents. Where were those guys? Oh, I see. Huh. Okay. That was a little unexpected. Nice to see it. Let's just watch this. I'm curious if he has a bless. He's got a priest in there and a shaman. There's stone throwers, cyclopses. I don't see any sacreds. Goats. Mouflon. Those guys are not sacred, they're just gigantes. Well, if he blesses, it'll just be the priest blessing himself. Okay, so the priest did bless. What are we looking at here? Inspirational and leadership 30. Well, that's pretty boring. I'm not seeing very... So I wonder how these rocks work. Oh boy. The range on those rocks must be pretty short. Range of 7. Okay, that's pretty short. No, they work. How much ammo do they have? Only 2. And then after that, they jump in with a club. Okay, well, it could be worse. The protection is sort of adequate. I don't know what they cost, and I'm not really going to spend time on that. Now, what else we got for messages? Mammoth Grove. There, that went fine. So that finished off. So that worked fine. Finished off those last 10 bone readers. The event triggered. It's the 6,000 plus. That's excellent. So nice. Okay. We only need 1 PD there. Just gonna have another. Oh. Oh yeah, that's the Conjurers and Circle Masters. And that is the Mermen. So it might be time. Yeah, we'll hire 1 more Merman Commander. So no events on about Corsairs yet. I just don't know how long that takes. And if I remember correctly, you can't have a fort. Yeah, they can't be anywhere near or adjacent to a forted province. So I don't know. Do I want forts or do I want Corsair Groves? Well, I want to cause the Corsair Groves. Corsair Groves, is that the right terminology here? Corsair Cove, not Grove. I want to see that mechanic activate so that I can get a feel for it. And let's see. There's a fire too. So I haven't sent her. So I'm more or less going to end up chasing the other guys with the fire too, because I do want to search for fire. So I've searched for water. She can move on to the next location. This army, I'm going to take the wolf tribe rather than the barbarian for the time being. This guy could just head back to start bringing up troops. Her army, the 2 armies are probably big enough to take out these horse tribe, or at least to reinforce this army, replace the attrition. We've got no significant... What's the command on these guys? 20. So she's going that way, so she could bring along the garbage. I'll do that. It doesn't do me any good sitting it in my capital. I need these guys down here. Oh, Jotun either did not take this or failed to take it, and he left. So I can go back with the assassin and try again. I don't know where that army of Jotun really chose to go. It would be good to get some scouts up over here. Those guys are on patrol. We'll leave them there. But and then this. Did I assassinate here? Why did I forget to give that? Oh, did he just move there? I believe he had to move back. And we do kind of want to probe this. Ah, there's some more animals showed up. They weren't there before. So I am getting some of these animal events. So let's just force a probe here. Move this guy towards this bridge. This guy towards this bridge. Oh, I've got a scout there. So I've kind of actually more or less roughed out this entire zone in this area, this sort of between the two rivers, that I can expand into, and nobody can really compete with me for it. That scout is doing a nice job where he is, but if he comes back here, he'll see the next fight. And she needs to just do nothing for a turn. Or, what have I got here? She can kind of wait wherever. Doesn't really matter. I could take her with her small little army. This is huge. No, I'll leave her where she is for a turn. Ah! And I got another scout here. So this guy will put on retreat. Move him here. This guy will go a little deeper. This scout is on retreat. I'll set him in Jotun's capital. But Jotun has done a terrible job. The scout can wait. That scout, I want to kind of head towards this bridge here. I should turn off the control M. I don't need that for the moment. This is not a nation that really has enough speed for... Oh, and there we have Ariu, I believe. So we hadn't... no, that's man, sorry. My bad. Should have noticed the tree on top. She's waiting, and she is done her job. She can move on to this way. No. Where did I send that air mage? Did I muck that? Oh, she's faster. Oh, she's 18. This... Why can this girl not move there? Oh well, we'll go this way. We'll search for what we search. We'll sort it out later. And another scout. She's searching. She's waiting. That's it. Alright, there's my hour. So I'm going to stop here. I don't see anything odd. I didn't get any messages that don't make sense, like didn't seem to be enough troops to generate the slave events. I'm going to need to do some more turns to generate corsairs, see if we can make the pleasure cult work. I'll give some thought to should I start again with a different pretender, but there's nothing wrong with this pretender. So I hope you enjoyed, and of course, as discussed, if you got questions, you can find both Sombre and I very, very active on my Discord, so Maerlande. Links are available on the channel, or if you get stuck, send me a message, and you can comment, of course, on the video. Well, that was cool. All right. Bye, everybody.